Hey everybody, how's it going? Welcome back to Copper Jacket TV. So this is just never going to get old for me. I love seeing the ATF taking these losses at the district court level and at the appellate court level with the 5th Circuit and now with the 8th Circuit. So stay tuned, this is a good one. Hey, real quick before we get started, if you guys are like me and you like seeing these 3-letter agencies take the L's in court, hit that subscribe button. That little thumbs up is always appreciated, and that alarm bell will let you know when new videos come out. Okay, so let's go ahead and talk about what's going on here. So I'm sure you guys remember Mock v. Garland. That's the FPC case that challenged the ATF's final rule on braces. Now, they challenged it on constitutional grounds as well as the Administrative Procedures Act, saying that they violated the APA. Essentially, what they did is they allowed a comment period on a proposed rule. And so that allowed us to leave our comments on that proposed rule, and then the agency could take that into consideration or whatever. But the final rule that came after the comments period was nothing like the original rule. And so we didn't have a chance to comment on that. They just made that their final rule, and that was it. So not only was it arbitrary and capricious, but it violated the APA completely. I mean, it was very, very open and clear. Well, that case, again, out of the 5th Circuit, out of the District Court of Texas, where we got a pretty good victory out of that one. Well, there's also another case, and this case is out of the 8th Circuit, and we just got a decision from the 8th Circuit on an appeal when the District Court judge actually denied an injunction in that case. The 8th Circuit Court of Appeals had some pretty good stuff to say about our likelihood of success on the merits. Again, this case also challenges the APA, and, well, it doesn't challenge the APA, it challenges what the ATF did on APA grounds. Okay, so let's just go ahead and take a look at this one paragraph right here. This will pretty much explain everything to you. But try and keep in mind, again, there was an injunction that was denied at the district court level, so it went up to a 3-judge panel of the 8th Circuit, and you can see the names of the judges right there. So let's just read this real quick. Okay, so it says here, the BATFE promulgated a final agency rule interpreting the National Firearms Act of 1934, the NFA, and the Gun Control Act of 1968, the GCA. The final rule reclassifies pistols equipped with stabilizing braces, braced weapons, as NFA-regulated short-barreled rifles, which subject those braced weapons to NFA and GCA regulation. The plaintiffs, a stabilizing brace manufacturer, a firearm manufacturer, and a gun association, and an individual owner of braced weapons, and 25 states, collectively the coalition, sued to enjoin the final rule, arguing it exceeds the ATF statutory authority under the NFA and GCA and is arbitrary and capricious. The district court denied the coalition's motion for preliminary injunction. The coalition appeals that denial. We conclude that the coalition is likely to succeed on the merits of its arbitrary and capricious challenge. So we reverse and remand to the district court. Now, the FPC actually cites a quote that kind of sums everything up here. It says, it's arbitrary and capricious because it allows the ATF to arrive at whatever conclusion it wishes. And don't think for a second that that's not exactly the way that it was designed. It was already extremely confusing. If you guys remember, originally there was like this worksheet. The worksheet was extremely vague. I mean, it would be up to the interpretation of the agent themselves who's actually looking at the worksheet and how it's filled out. That person would actually determine whether or not it fell under the NFA or not. And you wouldn't really know until they took a look at it and they told you based off of this point system. Well, they got rid of that worksheet and just made it vague altogether without any point systems or any, weird stuff like that. They just made it so vague that on the spot, any agent could simply say, nope, I believe that falls underneath the NFA, and therefore you're in violation of it and in some really hot water. So again, the whole rule is just a mess, from its constitutionality, from the APA being violated, from it being arbitrary, from it being capricious. I mean, the entire thing is just a complete mess, a complete nightmare. And now we have, again, 2 courts that are basically saying the same thing. That's why this is good. So even though we got a win in Mock, and we've got a win now at the 8th Circuit and so forth, these are 2 courts now that basically have said the same thing. And so that actually works really well for us. If this were to, let's say, end up going all the way to the top from the 8th Circuit. Let's say that it goes back down to the district court level, and then it goes back to the 8th Circuit, or they want en banc, right? And en banc maybe reverses the 3-judge panel, and therefore it's got to go up a little bit higher, up to the Supreme Court or something. And you have 2 courts here, and several judges from these 2 courts here that are essentially saying the same thing. It's a blatant violation. And so even if this goes further, it still supports our claims that we've been making all along. So I just wanted to let you guys know about that. I think it's a pretty big deal. It's another big win for us and another big L for them. And so anytime that happens, I'm happy to share it. So I wanted to let you guys know about that. Thank you all very much for watching. I really do appreciate it. Please like, subscribe. You guys have a great day.